Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Arcanum of Steamworks and Magick Obscura, Blind. Now, last time, I finally recovered the book Tseng-Ang, Horror Among the Dark Elves, which is supposed to showcase to me the location of the Dark Elf city, into which I need to venture to find more about what happened to the Black Mountain clan. However, I am still not even a step closer to finding out what actually happened to the man who once owned this book, because he was killed, and I have no solid clues as to how to solve the case of his murder. The only thing I have is a note that I found in the house of one of his servants, which I do believe is this note. Nope, this is actually a note from Mingorad. Maybe it's here. Yeah, this note from someone called Elmer Burbottom, who has paid one of Misk's servants for information pertaining to this very book, pertaining to the fact that Victor Misk had it, which in the end led to his death, because it has been described in another book called The Curse of Tseng-Ang, that apparently everyone who has owned a copy of this book in the past was killed in some horrible circumstance, and it is also true of Victor Misk in this case. But I don't really know. I haven't found anyone called Elmer Burbottom in Caladon, so I don't really know where to look for him. However, for now, I definitely need to read this book, so let's do that. Okay, so it literally shows me a map here, showcasing the location of Tseng-Ang in the Glimmering Forest. I dedicate this to my dearest Raven. I would gladly face again these horrors and 1,000 others for only another moment with you. So I guess she has kind of alluded to the fact that they were in a relationship briefly, or at least that they had feelings for each other. Dearest reader, it is only with the greatest fear and trepidation that I share this harrowing tale with you today. Even here, safe within the confines of my own home, I am still overcome with dread at the thought of what I am about to tell you, and what it might mean for those close to me. And yet I feel compelled to do so, and the great muse guides my pen to the paper, and the words flow forth from the darkest regions of my heart and mind, where they have stayed well hidden until this very evening. I beg of you, give an ear to my confession, and if it please you, take this tale from me and return only your belief and trust, that what you are about to hear is only and nothing but the truth. As I said a couple of times already, sometimes the grammar of the structure of the sentences in this game is somewhat alien to me. I'm often a bit confused, but I guess it is supposed to be a little bit archaic, right? To represent the time period. My name is Renford Terwingler, born of the outlying regions of Ashbury, not far from the lair of Bellerogrim, where they had found the bones of the great dragon. My childhood was a bright one, full of happiness and light, and my parents gave to me all that a child might need. I was schooled both practically and excellently, and when my 18th year came around, I was accepted into Tarrant University, and ultimately found my way into the Tarantian Zoological Society. Archaeology was first love, but my first assignment with the society was with the Cultural Anthropology department. It was somewhat of a farce, actually, but the society had been given an enormous grant by one of Tarrant's leading philanthropists for a very specific purpose. The purpose was to confirm the existence of the Dark Elves. Every man, woman and child in Arcanum has been raised on ghost stories and bedtime tales of these strange people, known only as the Dark Elves. To the anthropologists, they are the proverbial oasis in a desert, Proof of their existence has always literally disappeared into the air. No man had ever set eyes upon them, and not a shred of physical evidence has ever been found to establish that they were real. Myths and legends were plentiful, but for the itinerant scientists, these mean less than nothing. What was needed was undeniable evidence, and I set out on an adventure with determination and confidence in my ability to bring forth just that. Had I known what lay ahead, I would have forsworn both anthropology and philanthropy, and returned to work as a day laborer in Ashbury shipyard. Better the back-breaking work than the nightmares I face every night. Before leaving Tarant, I employed the service of a certain Jaren Benal, an elven tracker who was recommended to me by the noble Mr. Quentin Payne, famed explorer and gentleman in every sense of the word. Jaren Benal had been born in the Glimmering Forest, and it was said there wasn't a more knowledgeable man about the deep elven groves this side of Stonewall Mountains. His fees were a little less than reasonable, but I had been given enormous liberty in spending the allocated funds, and it was my honest opinion that Mr. Benal was crucial to the success of the mission. I couldn't have been more correct. Within few weeks, we were well within the deeper and yet uncharted regions of the western Glimmering Forest, and never once did the unflappable Mr. Benal look to his compass or consult a map. Occasionally, he would stand for a moment within a clearing or beneath a great tree, head cocked, eyes closed, but aside from those infrequent moments of meditation, it was all we could do to keep up with him. Upon the 42nd day of our journey, we came to a great meadow, seemingly alive with multitude of birds and butterflies that flew above. Crossing this fragrant and lively field was one of the most vivid moments that I had experienced on my journey so far, and I was so enthralled by the scene around me that I almost missed the most spectacular vision given to the eyes of a mortal man. Kintara, the great elven tree city, lay within the towering trees at the end of the clearing, hanging like a cut jewel in the crown of a king. The mother tree, almost 400 feet tall, housed the intricately carved Hall of Truth, which shone white and smooth in noonday sun. Impossibly thin walkways wove in and out of the boughs of the great tree, not taking away from its natural beauty, but adding to it, as if the city was merely a convenient and beautiful tangle of the leaves and branches, tattooed with the flowing runes and symbols in the ancient elven tongue. Among these, the graceful and lithe forms of the elves, singing their beautiful songs and looking down on the ragtag group of men with curiosity and amusement. Of Kintara, I can only say this. The month I spent there was the best of my entire life. I learned much about the Dark Elves. I learned much less about the Dark Elves than I would have liked, almost nothing at all, really. But these moments I spent there were strange and wonderful and breathtaking, and I will not do them disservice by attempting to put them into words. Suffice it to say, I learned there was a young man who... suffice it to say that I learned there, as a young man, what often takes others a lifetime, and to my teacher I give heartfelt thanks and the warmest greetings. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of you. We left the trees of Kintara with little more than a faint whisper about the Dark Elves and where they might be found. The elves of Kintara were very reluctant to speak of them, and they begged us to forget such foolishness and to go home to Tarant. I, of course, would hear no such talk, and we travelled on, north this time, as Mr. Benal believed he has uncovered a clue as to their whereabouts during his investigations while in Kintara. And he had discovered a name, Tseng-Ang, the home of the Dark Elves. We travelled for 17 more days, exhausting our supplies, and sending most of the party back to Tarant. The forest had become thicker and more brambly. It seemed that many of the trees were adorned with thorns, some more than a foot long. Another week, and it was only Mr. Benal and myself, and we had agreed to return before the first of the month if we failed to find any further evidence of the Dark Elf existence. That gave us 6 days to find Tseng-Ang, and we pressed on despite our anxiety and fatigue. On the day before we had planned to return, the weather took a vicious turn. From out of the north came great thunderheads, and lightning flew down from the sky like barbed lances of white fire. It began to rain, and we found an uneasy shelter beneath the massive roots of one of the great trees, which seemed poised over us like a giant and grotesquely gnarled hand. I was shivering, and not altogether from the cold and rain. Weird shadows played against the trunk of the tree, and as the storm strengthened and the lightning became more frequent, thunder tore the sky above our heads. I looked at Mr. Benal, and for the first time since we left Tarant, I saw fear reflected in his face. I can't say when I first became aware of them, but one moment, while looking through the rain, I began to notice shadows that stayed even after lightning had subsided. These shadows became phantoms, the phantoms something worse. They were stock still, tall and wiry, ghostly faces the color of ivory, with eyes of the blackest night. Their hair hung from limp strands against their foreheads and cheeks, and they stood unblinking, oblivious to the storm and its ragings. Benal screamed something to my right, and then was pulled bodily from our shelter to the roots above. He screamed once more, and then was silent. I never heard from nor saw him again. I ran headlong past the elves in front of me, swinging blithely to clear a path. I was mad with fear, and my feet carried me deeper into the forest. I thought I heard a dark and twisted laughter above and behind me, and shadowy figures darted among the trees to my left and right. Thorns tore at my arms and legs, and I stumbled among the stones and the underbrush, screaming incoherently. More than once, great elven arrows sunk into the trees around me, grazing my skin as they flew by. They were playing with me, enjoying the hunt, waiting for just the right moment. My head was light from the exhaustion and the blood loss, and I fell to my knees, gasping for air. When I looked up, I saw it. There, in the trees above me, was Tseng-Ang, the home of the Dark Elves. Unlike Kintara, Tseng-Ang was an abomination, slouched in branches like a great beast waiting for its prey. There were sputtering fires all along its battlements, and great spikes protruding from every surface like dragon spines, and I saw robed figures, gaunt and terrible, lined along its walkways and looking down at me, beckoning, it seems, for me to join them. I screamed again, and in the figures seemed to have raised voices in unison, a terrible call without sound or meaning, but I heard them nonetheless. They were cursing me, they were welcoming me. In moments I was surrounded again by my pursuers. Through the downpour, I saw them unsheath daggers, their ghostish smiles floating towards me, and thunder roared above. I closed my eyes, praying to whatever god could hear me. There was nothing else I could do. And then, from nowhere, arrows were flying from behind me and above me. In moments I was encircled completely, with half-blue shafts of the thickest hunting arrows, and dark elves around me whirled to and fro in confusion. One pulled his bow from his back and notched an arrow in one flowing moment, but was shot through the heart before he had raised it past his shoulder. He fell silently, unbelieving. The others looked at me for a moment, the purest of hatred harbored in their eyes, and they disappeared into the night, hands conspicuously at their sides. Amazed and spent, I fainted. I awoke many days later, many miles from the northeast reaches of Glimmering. I was alone, but my wounds had been treated and my supplies had been replenished. I was back in Tarant not 2 weeks later. I have never met my rescuers, but I can guess who they were and where they were from, and I thank them if they are reading this. Without their aid, I would have surely died there in the shadow of Tseng-Ang. And so, dear friend, again I beg of you to believe these words and the man who has told them to you. I do so only to share this burden with others, to give comfort among those of my kind. At the very least, let those words stand as a warning to you. Often, evil is a tangible thing, and sometimes it's a people and a place. Such are the Dark Elves, and such is the hell that they called their home. I have never returned to the Glimmering Forest, and I pray that I never do. Some things are better left alone. Okay, to be honest, I'm actually kind of disappointed by this book, because I was like, from the title of it, Tseng-Ang, Horror Among the Dark Elves, I was expecting a tale of slavery. Like, I was expecting that he was actually captured and spent some time in Tseng-Ang as a slave, you know. But it seems from the description that it was merely like, sure, they captured him, but they didn't even manage to bring him into Tseng-Ang proper, because he was rescued right afterwards by the you know, no, quote-unquote normal elves, as it were, I assume. So that's kind of disappointing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it would be cool if he got tortured or something, you know, speaking in universe, but as far as the story goes, I was expecting something a lot more grueling and a lot more dark. This is not really that horrible. Like, they even, sure, they killed his companion, and for sure he must have been scared for his life, because it was pretty close for him to die as well. But nothing that horrible happened to him, because they didn't have the time to torture him or anything. They barely just captured him, and he was rescued just a moment later. So, you know, that's not as much of a horror among the Dark Elves as I was expecting, but still. I gained a level from that. So what do I want to upgrade? I would definitely like to upgrade Persuasion to level Master. So I guess I need more Charisma for that. Sure, let's do it. Maybe I can get the 6th follower, that would also be cool. Because to be honest, one of my greatest joys in this game so far is hearing the voice acting for the followers that actually have voice acting. It's quite of a high quality, and I do enjoy the different tones and the different voiceovers of the different companions. So I would definitely like to learn more about that and experience more of that. I will put a point in intelligence to get the better schematics later on. As for Sogmid Mag, he's going to have a point of strength. Varomon. It seems Varomon does not get points upon level up, because he started at level 20. Oh, wait, he does, damn it. He does, but they all start with auto-leveling, and I didn't disable it. I'm an idiot. Oh well. Oh well. I wasn't keeping track of what the game spent the point on, but I guess that's partially my own fault, because I forgot about that. They have auto-leveling by default. Okay, and Virgil... to be honest, I'm not that interested in the remaining spells. He has plenty of them already, so I might as well max out willpower for him, because willpower adds to fatigue, right? Although I guess Constitution adds more. But maybe there's a bonus for... Yeah, I think I'll go a little bit more into willpower for him. Although I am kind of tempted to go into dexterity and upgrade his lockpicking, because he's not using the actual spells, which is a bit nonsensical, if you ask me. But I would have to get into 12 dexterity, which would take a lot of time, so hopefully I find a companion who's naturally suited towards opening locks. But before I go to Tseng-Ang, which is here, there is still plenty to do over here. For example, I need to take a picture of this wyvern, and supposedly there's also a bridge somewhere along this river that would allow me to travel back to the Glimmering Forest, and also supposedly there's a pass somewhere over here that would allow me to travel through the mountains to this side, which is also pretty useful. So for now I will go alongside the coast to the river. Okay. Let's go. Okay, stop. Apparently there's an old lagoon, a remote lagoon. Okay, so let's check it out. Seems it's full of ghosts and wisps. Okay. Oh, Volar's wisp is one of the wisps I needed a sample of for one of the elves in Kintara, so it's quite good that I encountered it. Hopefully I can pick up its remains. Volar's Wisp's essence. Yeah, right. Okay. So I can bring this back to the elves in Kintara once I return. There's another one. Do they all leave an essence, or is it unique to that one kind of wisp? Wisp essence. I guess I will take them both. What's this Varawan doing? He's shooting at the wisp inside, I guess. Okay, any of you have space in your inventory? So I will take one regular essence as well, just to be sure. Now there is a chest here, but how would I enter? I guess I need to enter from the bottom. Over here.
Sir.
Okay, so what's in the chest? A bunch of things. Okay, Varawan is shooting basically into the bushes and doing nothing. So I guess I have to kill that wisp manually for him to be freed from his eternal duty of shooting into the bushes. Okay, I don't have space to keep all of those essences, so I will keep one, just in case, because maybe it's useful for something. Let's continue onwards through the shore. Lycanthrope. Maybe I can loot something from its body that would help me with the quest with the werewolf, but apparently there is nothing to loot. Okay, now supposedly the wyvern causes brain damage if it attacks you, so I should probably avoid that. Wait, don't kill it! I need to take a photo. Okay, did I take a photo? It's 8, right? I think I must have. Okay, so is anyone's intelligence lowered? Because I would imagine it's either intelligence or charisma. Charisma was lowered before because I'm cursed. But besides that, okay, this one is okay. His intelligence is not important. Okay, I think everyone is okay, more or less. Although wait. Isn't Virgil's a little low? I guess I will save and just quickly reload to see. Reload the quick save to see if Virgil's was still 7 before the fight and mine 11. Okay, 11. It is indeed 7. So I guess we are okay. So I can just load this, I guess. And hopefully I did take the photo. Wait. Or did I use... Wait, did I use 9 or 8? Because if I used the shovel at it, obviously that wouldn't help. So... I need you to get a photograph. Did I do it though? Okay, I'm confused now, to be honest. To be honest, it's probably safest if I reload and do it again. Because I need to use number 9, not number 8. Because number 8 is a shovel. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did use it now. Let's take a look. Intelligence still 7, Charisma 8. I think he's okay. And so am I. Hopefully hopefully this worked. Okay, but he also said there's supposedly a bridge somewhere nearby. Oh, right, here it is. Look at this. So that would mark the bridge on my map, right? And I would be able to... Wait, why is it not marked? I am on the other side, but I can't go back now from this side. So why isn't this marked as a separate... Unless I need to travel to this point, to the lair itself, if I want to cross. Similar to how Hardin's Pass used to work. Okay, this is kind of confusing. Okay, I am back on this side. Let's go alongside the river, just to see if there's anything else, maybe? And then go down through the mountains to see... if I can find the pass. Because there was a mention of a stone altar at the pass, which might be one of the altars of the old gods, right? And I'm definitely interested in... finding those. In Cold Place. Okay, I'm pretty sure I traveled down here before, but it won't hurt to do it again. Okay, I think I placed too many of those waypoints. No one escapes the Molochean hand, apparently. Okay, they didn't want to stop. Okay, I don't know where the pass is. It might lead through the cave, maybe? Let's go back to Roseborough for now and return the photographs to the journalist. Because that's the only thing I have left to do there. Oh, Bolo's other... That's actually also useful. Bolo is the god of thieves.
Friend, I've been wounded terribly.
Oh, freak.
Quickly, I need healing.
Okay, certainly wasn't expecting that to have happened. Oh, wait. Did I really not save in all of that time? Okay, this is kind of ridiculous. Come on. I think so. So I still have not found the pass, but there is an altar of Bolo between here and Roseborough. So let me discover that again. Wait. Why can't I? How did I even travel to this side? Shouldn't it? Okay, this is kind of ridiculous. Because... Oh yes, this is entirely ridiculous in fact, because I somehow traveled to the other side without realizing it, and now I can't go back. I guess if I followed the mountains themselves for long enough, I would eventually discover the pass, but that could take hours of real time, you know, considering how slow you move, you know, how slow you move when compared to the actual size of the world map. Yeah, I'm now on this side somehow, which makes no sense to me, and it's actually kind of annoying, not going to lie. Okay, I wasn't expecting, because there's an altar of Bolo somewhere around here, and obviously it is one of the altars I need to discover anyway, so it would be great to have it registered on my map. I guess I will go to Tarant, because I do need to talk with I need to find a demonologist there to solve the murders in Caladon. But I'm kind of annoyed because I had different plans, but I guess I will, because I need to return to Roseborough anyway, but I guess it's on the way to Caladon. But I will need to go either by ship or actually through the Glimmering Forest, through the bridge over here. I would very much like to find the pass, so I guess I will follow the mountains over here, and maybe this will lead me somewhere. Suspicious. I'm kind of suspicious of the Thieves' Cave, because, you know, the pass might actually go through the cave. But the last time I was there, I could not enter it. Actually, let me stop here specifically and go this way. There's some pretty weird... Whoa! Okay, the amount of lag is actually unreal. Okay, I'm back. So my plan basically is to go west into the mountains and see if I can sort of discover the pass naturally. I mean manually rather. So I should keep running until I discover like mountainous. Ah, right. Rumor has it that there's a pass in the mountains north of Caladon connecting to the southern halves of the continent. It's also rumored that there's an old stone altar there as well. So north of Caladon doesn't tell me much because it's basically all of this is north of Caladon. Okay, this looks kind of promising. It's a change of scenery at least. Oh, there's plenty of monsters. Which is also promising because that was the situation with the Hardin Pass, right? So this is definitely promising. And this must be the altar, right? That there's a geode. The symbol is the world, but as was demonstrated, the symbols are clearly wrong. There's a bug involving the symbols, so I have to determine which god is that. First, it's Kaitan. So she weighs your worth within her hands, great geodes of the scale. She holds you, she sees you, she knows every tale. Kaitan, I bow and bring to you the stone with heart of jewels. Weigh it now, hold it now, maiden fair and cruel. Okay, so this is an altar to Kaitan, who is the Goddess of Balance. So let me try and determine which symbol would she be. As far as I know, there are no scales or something. Morindal, Halcyon, Shakar. It might actually be the world this time, because Kaitan, goddess of balance, goddess of judges, would pray to her for guidance, knew all things. She was always smiling. Offered to her a geode. It might actually be the globe this time. Because is there a god of earth? There is a god of stone, which is Alberich, the god of the dwarves. This might also be the world, I guess. But the coin is the god of gnomes, the god of gold and wealth. The moon is the god of shadows. The faces are male, so clearly it's not this, because this is a Goddess of Balance. The hand is Bolo, the god of Thieves. So it's this is either the world, the globe, or possibly the sun, maybe. But in either case, I doubt this is not the current altar I need to visit, because the current one is the head with like the crown, or the head with strange hairdo, which might be either Alberich, the god of the Dwarves, or Halcyon, the god of truth, because it doesn't fit any of the others. So I guess for now, let me just go through them once more. Terrell I've got sorted out. It's not... Gestiana, I would say the goddess of love, it's probably the three women. Praying or something. The three young women on the right of the diagram. Then Alberich, this is clearly... Well, I guess Alberich could be the world also, because he is the god of stone. Well, I guess I can check that by going and praying to Alberich now, because if he is the head with like the weird hairdo or with a crown, I can't really tell, then it will sort of be validated as a blessing, and then I will know that the world is Kaitan. So I will write down where the altar is, roughly at least, so that I know that I can return to it. Okay. Hopefully it will be marked on my map once I get to the other side of the pass, as it did with Hardin's Pass in the past. Okay, so his balanced sword broke, which is not great. I will need to sort that out, but I do have materials for it at the very least. Oh, I actually have another balanced sword here, so let's give this to him for now. And take the balanced sword and give it to Magnus. Okay. Actually, does Varamon even have arrows? Yeah, right, because I was...
Friend, I've been wounded terribly. Quickly, I need healing.
I was confused by the fact that he was shooting. Quick, okay. Magnus might be dead. Yeah, he's shooting his bow theoretically, but no arrows are coming out. So I guess he used all of the ones I gave him before. I need to give him more. I guess let's give him all of them for now. I have no other archer anyway, for the time being. Did he break his sword again? Fortunately, even if he did, I have enough of crafting materials to... Yeah, he did, damn it. Okay, that's annoying. But I have enough crafting materials to rebuild it for him once I get to the other side of the pass.
My friend, I've been wounded terribly. Quickly, I need healing.
Okay. Hopefully I'm nearing the end of the pass, because it's actually rather difficult to get rid of those monsters. Oh, wait, I might be dead actually. Okay, I barely survived that. But this seems to be the pass, so I am actually quite glad that I discovered it, because not only did I discover another altar, but it will also make things easier as far as traveling is concerned. Yeah, okay, Gorgoth Pass. A long-forgotten pass joining the kingdoms of Dernholm and Caladon. Great. But there is an altar of Bolo somewhere around here? So I would like to discover that as well. I have it on my map, when the time comes to make an offering to him as well. No one escapes the Molochean hand, apparently. Okay. It must be in a different place, because I remembered I traveled from around here to Roseborough and discovered it on my way there. So let's try doing that. Wait, how did that happen again? Again I am on this part of the world. How does that keep happening to me? This is nonsensical. It shouldn't even be possible, according to the game itself and how it works. Basically it was somewhere around here, maybe? Okay. Bolo's altar. Now, at the very least, I am sure. Yeah, again, this has to be a bug, right? Because it's like the 5th time there's the symbol of the. Well, maybe not the 5th, more like the 3rd, but there is a symbol of the world. But of this, at least, I am sure that Bolo's symbol must be the hand, right? Because he's well known for having lost his hand. As punishment, it's a head, I believe, with a. I mean, it's a hand with a ring, and a ring is an offering to him. So, so he's on a different circle altogether than the one I'm currently on. But let me write it down nonetheless. Bolo. And let's read the poem associated with him. Bolo, clever thief, Progo, watchful eye, shadow now and now gone, arm, and now here and now gone. Bolo, face of pain, Progo, face of rage, soul, now here and now gone. Progo, now here and now gone. Bolo, god of thieves, one-armed god of thieves, this ring, now here and now gone, your blessing, now here and now here. Okay, so obviously it says, it recounts the story of how he stole the Progo's shadow, or maybe even his very soul actually, and well, I guess if he stole his soul, he could not have been punished because Progo stopped to exist, but he stole his shadow and was punished by having his arm cut off, and it also says about how a ring is a suitable offering for him. Okay, so I am ready to return to Roseborough and return the pictures of the wyvern that I took. So let's go in here and talk with Trevor Linwood. What you wish to speak with me? I've got it. You're becoming too noble, Wormblood. I follow not the likes of you, says Varomon. Well, he's been quite boring, to be honest, so far. So much more boring than I was expecting. So if he leaves because I do too many good deeds, then I'm not going to cry for him too much. You got it. Oh my, I'm so excited. You don't know how helpful you have been. Let me see the camera. Takes it from you. Mr. Wright is going to be so thrilled. Glad I could be of service. Now, about my compensation. Oh yes, here you are, 500 coin, as we agreed upon. Thank you, Hargrim Stonehand. You don't know how happy you've made me. Goodbye. Yeah, thank you. What of the bridge? Did you see any signs of it? I did, thank you. It will definitely save me a lot of time. And this is wonderful news. I'm sure the existence of the bridge has been lost for years. It will surely speed up travel, and then something else because I couldn't read it fast enough. But this pretty much concludes my business in Roseborough. So next time I'm going to travel to Tarant because I need to find a demonologist that would help me solve the mystery of the murders in Caladon. And I think a good place to start looking would be the Tarant University. So I will go there. I still have this note, Elmer Burbottom, but I don't know where to find him. Okay, but anyway, this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save here and end it here for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!